Welcome to Kitzbuhel. From Millau in the south of France, we've headed north and into Austria for our third IFSC Bouldering World Cup of 2013. Situated in between the Hanakam and the Kitzbuhel Mountains, this idyllic town at 2,500 feet is home to some of the most beautiful panoramics in the world. The snow-capped peaks play host to the annual World Cup ski races. In fact, Kitzbuhel and the surrounding area is one of Austria's largest skiing regions around the town in the Alps, which is home to just 8,000 people. Now, we've already had two astounding World Cups so far this year, one in Chongqing and one in Millau. And already the Austrians are starting to push their way to the top of the pile. Anna Storr, 2 golds so far already this season, and Kilian Fischuber with 1 for the men's as well. Now, their ancestors, the Austrian ancestors, first came here in around 1100 BC, and that was to mine copper from the local mountains. Now our athletes gather from all around the world to see which of them are able to mine not copper, but gold, silver and bronze from the hands of the IFSC. In the men's then so far, it is all about a battle between Russia and Austria. Dmitry Sharafutdinov a gold in Chongqing and Kilian Fischuber a gold in Millau. But most of the big names in the men's competition, most of the athletes we're used to seeing doing exceptionally well, so far this year have had a few difficulties moving through the first 2 World Cups. For instance, Sean McCall and Jakob Schubert, both struggling to make finals at Millau just recently, and Rustam Gelmanov, another interesting one to talk about, a man that we're used to see never looking flustered, the Gelmanator, the Terminator of the climbing world, really struggling all the way through both finals in Chongqing and Millau as well. How is he going to fare here? He won the World Cup at the end of last year, the overall rankings for the World Cup. Is he going to be able to start pushing forward into the man that we're used to seeing perform here? It's going to be a good one. Let's go over now and have a look at the men's qualifications here live on IFSC's brand new website. Well, good morning to you. Welcome if you are just joining us. We're here and getting ready for the qualifications for the men at Kitzbuhel 2013. We're up here in the Alps at a bit of an altitude. Beautiful day for the past couple of days. Well, the route setters have been setting these walls. As you can see, there they are in front of you, splitting into 2 groups this time, as we have quite a large turnout. This is men's Group A. So starting with our highest seeded in both groups, so Dmitry Sharafutdinov at the top there, Sean McCall, Guillaume Glaremonde, Jonas Baumann, Lucas Enemosa, Jeremy Bonda, Jan Hoyer, Cedric Lechat, Mauricio Huerta of Mexico. This is our first group, Group A. 5 problems for each of the groups for the men. Then we'll take a short break for about 2.5 hours while the route set is set for the women, and we'll come back for the women's qualifications later today. So this is the second section of men's Group A. Anthony Golster of Finland, James Kasey, Thomas Tauporn, Stefan Julian, Arman Terminason, Benjamin Blazer, Yuri Novitsky, Mikhailo Shalagin and Jan Heiko. Our second section for the Group A. I see our brushers and our volunteers down at the bottom of the wall there. Here's our third section of Group A. As you can see, quite a good turnout for this competition here in Europe. Nicholas Farsi, Jakob Jodorowski, Jonas Winter, Atsushi Shimizu, Christian Feistmantel, Oleg Belyakov, Max Rudiger, Elko Schillinger and Eric Lopez Matios. So this is the men's qualifications Group A. And here's the 4th page, the final page. So quite a lot in Group A. Imagine that we've got the same amount in Group B as well. So these guys won't be out for about 3 hours though, remember that one. So we start to fill up our walls as we move through the day. Another Australian athlete there though, Thomas Farrell, to join James Kasey. And I have been told this morning that Chris Webb-Parsons, the man himself for Australia, is back at the next competition as well. Here's men's qualifications Group B now then. So again, in seeded order. So Kilian Fischuber at the top, Rustam Gelmanov, Jakob Schubert, Jörg Verhoeven, Sakuru Hori, Thomas Caleron, Tito, Yone Kruder, Edward Fihali and Clement Betchen. That's our first page of qualifications Group B. All names that we know. Fantastic turnout here. Ignacio Sanchez Gonzalez, Andrzej Merchezinski Victor, Niki Delu, Martin Stranik, Mario Lechner, Kim Ya-bi, Stefan Danker, David Barons and Ho Sin Fai here for men's qualifications Group B. This is our second page here of a total of 4. Some exciting routes for, to talk through with you as well from the setters. Some exciting problems here. Kevin Hemunden, Sebastian Valran, James Garden, Tomakai Takana, Kipras Baltrunas, Sandeep Meiti, Jonathan Partridge, Jan Shuvlala, Remo Sommer on men's qualifications Group B on our third page here. So a good 3 hours of qualifications to get through, trying to break this large amount of athletes down to just 20 for the semi-finals tomorrow. Here's our final page. Hans Busker, Guntram Jorg, Anton Johansson, Elias Vela, Michael Picoluras, sorry, I don't know that one, Stefan Scarperi and Kita Sito at the bottom there. So just while we're waiting for the athletes to come out, a brief announcement then for you. About how you can get involved with the IFSC and help out if you are watching from around the world. So here we are, a donation campaign then. To join us on Facebook, contribute to the donation campaign. Through that link, you can win one of 54 prizes. And if you missed that one, we'll bring it up for you one more time so you can have a look at where you need to go to. So it's facebook.com/sportclimbing2020. Donate and earn a chance to win one of the 54 prizes that are available there. So get yourself onto facebook.com/sportclimbing2020. There are prizes to be grabbed. Also another reminder to all of you that if you are joining us, you can also come and join us on Twitter, and you can get on using the hashtag IFSCWC, and you can chat directly to us here in Kitzbuhel in Austria. Any questions you might have, any opinions, we do like to know your thoughts. Any shout outs to your favourite climbers, do send them in. See a couple here already today from some people. So psyched to see Shauna Coxey and Dave Barron's crush today. Good luck to the GB climbers. Another one from Stephen Reed here as well. Good luck for Norwegian Tina Johansson Hafsas at the IFSC World Cup Bouldering in Kitzbuhel today and tomorrow. And Yuli Ozilainol saying, climbers, are you ready for the IFSC World Cup in Kitzbuhel 2013? Here's a bit of a look at the walls that we're looking at then at the present. So this is problem 2. A2 on the left-hand side there, and B2 with the roof section. A3 and B3 you can see a little bit further along there. Back into groups, which is always interesting. But about 3.5 hours worth of climbing to get through today. Some of the best climbers from around the world gathered here in Kitzbuhel to try for one of those 20 places through to the semi-finals. Sport Climbing Australia saying climbing is about to start at the Boulder World Cup. Can't wait for James and for Tom. And there's a link there on that one as well. If you are joining us, get yourself over onto Twitter. Use the hashtag IFSCWC. And we'll have a chat as we go through the day today. A nice long one to get yourself a drink, settle in. And look forward to seeing some good climbing. So our first 2 athletes emerge onto the wall, Dmitry Sharafutinov and Kilian Fischuber. These are the 2 gentlemen that so far this year have won both of the World Cups. So between them, Dmitry Sharafutinov in Chongqing took the gold there. Didn't have too good a run in Miol recently, and that was where Kilian Verschuber took his gold at the last World Cup. So eyes turn to these two athletes now to see how they get on as they move through this competition. The crowd surges forward to gather at the end of the hall as we start with our two athletes here. Okay, so A1 then on the left-hand side. This is called Chapi Chapeau. And you can see there's the hat there in the middle of the wall. That's Chapi, and Chapeau is the crater that's over on the right-hand side. So this is quite a dynamic problem to start with. Dimitri making a start of it. Fast on to Chapi, there you are with the foot. Reaching up there and then swinging out to the right-hand side. The red sloper just above him is not that great. It's all right if you put your hand on it straight away, but to pull up quickly on this one can cause you to come off the wall, so Dimitri's going to have to be a bit careful there. He didn't put too much pressure on that. He used the foot and jumped straight up for the top, but there is a flash for Dimitri Sharafutinov and also for Kilian Verschuber. It's what we're used to seeing. These are the best athletes in the world. They're the highest ranked. They have the best rap sheet of all of our athletes here. And that's B1 next to A1. Then on the right-hand side, we just saw Kilian fighting his way up that one. That's a balancy slab kind of problem. The double dyno at the top, which we just saw Kilian manage no problem at all. Relatively straightforward on B1, but not completely straightforward as you can't rush it. It's a fairly simple layout, but it's all about being careful as you go up this. All these routes are set by Percy Bishton and his team. Laurent Laporte is also here, staying with him. And if you can just see the reflecting dot in between the red and the black footholds there at the bottom, that's actually a tiny purple hold. I'll go into a little bit more detail with that in a moment as to why that's important on B1. We had a brief chat with some of the athletes before we started this this competition, so let's have a look at how they were feeling just this morning before starting here.
Yeah, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. David Barons, what are your thoughts just before the competition starts?
I'm hoping to keep hold of the last holds today. But I feel okay. Feel pretty good. Slightly bad skin again, but we'll cope.
What have you been doing in between?
Quite a lot of work. Not so much this week, and as much training as I can, really.
Jörg, how are you feeling before the competition?
I'm perfectly fine, I think. A bit tired. I'm not really early morning person, but I'll be waking up.
What have you been doing in between the comps?
Yeah, basically like bit of studying, bit of training, like recovering from the last comps. Boring stuff.
Sandy, how are you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling good. Yeah, feeling better. I'm a bit confident.
What have you been doing in between the last comp in Mio and this one now?
Well, it looks like we had a brief little technical issue there, but that was Sandeep Maiti, who we saw for India at Miol just recently. We'll hopefully try and show you some of what the other athletes were talking about down in ISO earlier today, a little bit later on in the program. So we get ready for our next turnaround and bring out two new athletes, Rustam Galmanov and Sean McCall, in a few moments' time. Just going back to what I was saying about B1 then, on the right-hand side of the wall here. Just past the first third of the wall, just below and to the right of the red foothold you can see there is a tiny, shining purple hold. It's about 2 screws, and it is tiny. It's going to be interesting to see who uses that as a foothold, because the plate just above it and to the left-hand side, the red plate, is actually not that great. According to Percy, he set it so that it's easier to push up if you risk it and go for it off the tiny purple foothold than it is for that double dyno at the end from the red plate instead. So we'll keep an eye on B1 as we go through and see whether some of our athletes spot and use that. No problems so far though for our two highest athletes. And we are about to get ready for our next two athletes. Here they come. It is Sean McCall on the left-hand side for Canada and Rustam Galmanov on the right-hand side for Russia. Rustam Galmanov then is our World Cup overall winner from 2012 in the bouldering. Took the medal there at Munich last year. But he's had a bit of an interesting start to this year. Made it through into both of the finals so far. But we saw the Gelmanator struggling through the finals, particularly in Mio just recently, but also in Chongqing in terms of using up quite a lot of attempts on a traversing little dyno section. Schomakel using a little bit of a drop knee there to get up to the red. Different tactic to what we saw Dimitri using, but just as effective, just as quick as well. Just over the first minute there used up by Sean before he's flashed the first problem here, putting him in good stead as he moves through the start of the day. Spoke to him in ISO earlier today as well. Had a brief conversation about how he's feeling after a couple of tricky competitions for him as well at the start of this year. He said he's been back at training since the end of Mio. He's now feeling a little bit better, a little bit more confident. There you can see the left hand where Rustam's just reached out to is that tiny peanut hold, which I was talking about, the foot hold for later on. He's using it again there with the left. It's a big balance section here then for Rustam. Anyone else recognize this position from going to the gym and trying to climb slabs themselves? Kissing the wall. No flash then for Rustam Galmanov. Is he going to carry on this unlucky streak at this competition? Any opinions you might have, any thoughts on any of this? Get in touch with us by using the IFSC WC hashtag on Twitter. Let us know how you guys are doing this morning. We've had a beautiful couple of days here in Kitzbuhel. Apparently starting to turn for the worst over the weekend, but no problem because we're in this absolutely huge sports hall up in the Kitzbuhel Alps.
Diese Qualifikation der Herren begonnen. Das Programm der Damen wird 16 Uhr mit der Qualifikation gemacht.
So Rustam with another attempt then. And that's 2 to start with.
War Sechster beim letzten Weltcup in Bouldern in Millau in Frankreich.
Now this is a bit of a better position that he's got himself into here. Just got to remember to keep himself as close into that wall as he possibly can. Hips in. Unfortunately not. One of our brushers comes forward. Rustam sitting down on the mat to look at problem 1 here in Kitzbuhel. This is the man that does one-armed pull-ups at the top of the problems in final competitions. Frequently see him in the finals, frequently see him on a podium. Not only getting there, but making it look easy normally. One of the things that Percy Bishton does like to do as a setter is to make sure that there is a large spread of different types of problems. Some static, some dynamic, some powerful ones, some compression. This looks good. Now for Rustam, there we are. Didn't use the purple foot hold. That's only 1 foot on the wall then for that dyno. But really used up most of his time. They were already at our next turnaround for our next athletes to come out. Jakob Schubert then on the right-hand side and Guillaume Cléron-Mondet on the left. So for France, Guillaume. I can see Sheila's just tuned in. She'll be happy about that. And Jakob Schubert on the right-hand side. Both athletes taking a few moments to analyse the wall then. Jakob, another athlete who's struggled at the start of this year, though he medalled in Chongqing, took a silver there. Had problems in Millau. And Guillaume, who took a silver just recently in Millau on his home turf. While they're just starting, let's have a brief look over onto problems 2 then for both groups. Here's Dimitri and here is Kilian. Just starting off on their attempts. On the second one here then. So problem 2A, which you can see Dimitri starting off here, is another balancy slab. So from the balancy slab that we've had on men's B group, we now have one for men's A, which is Dimitri on that one. So a bit of an awkward mantle on the volume to start, which you can see Dimitri trying to get his way up and over on this one at the moment. Top there for Kilian, and also a top for Guillaume. Just on problem 1. Unfortunately, it's quite difficult for us to cover all the time with all the cameras because the walls aren't all together on this one. We've got them sort of scattered around the venue. 3 different clumps of the wall. We'll try and make sure that we show you as much of it as we possibly can. Obviously for the semis and the finals that shouldn't be a problem. For the qualifications, with 10 routes to get through today and a lot of athletes, we'll try and do the best we possibly can to bring you the athletes that you're looking forward to seeing. Here's Jakob Schubert then pushing up for that bonus hold.
Jakob Schubert kommt aus Innsbruck, Jahrgang 1990.
Vyacheslav Vadenchuk joining us on Twitter saying good luck to the Russian team. And Dimitri struggling on a slab as well. Maybe this is a thing with the Russians. We know they're expert artists when it comes to anything with a crimp on it. But how are they going to get on here with the slabs? And this one's another interesting as well, one as well. If you can see the pink and the black just above Dimitri's head, those are the footholds for later on to make the final push up to the top of the wall. And they're very, very difficult. They're, according to Percy, awful holds. The final move on this one is not really a dyno, it's not really static either, it's more of a power glide. You have to have the confidence to go for it once you get there. You see the black tape there over to the right hand side as well, which means that he's unable to lean out onto that wall next to him. No bridging here. Question from Hans Kolk then in the feed saying, how is the starting order of the athletes for the qualifiers decided? The starting order is decided on their seeding, their rank, their overall world rankings. A top there for Jakob Schubert. Dimitri still, though, starting off on A2, struggling with this awkward mantle at the start. Percy did say it was difficult. Just can't quite get up into that bonus hold there, though, at the problem. And it looks like Dimitri's calling it a day on that one, so one flash and one no top so far for Dimitri. He's taking his slip.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And our next athlete's out then, Jonas Baumann for Germany on the left-hand side. And next to him, Jörg Verhoeven, who took the bronze in his first final since 2008 at Mio recently. Podiumed there at our last World Cup. That was a really interesting final, so hopefully you guys joined us for that one.
Jonas Baumann, Jahrgang 1996, momentan in
Seeing a lot of these athletes taking their time to analyse these first two problems before they have a go at them.
Und Verhoeven Jörg aus den Niederlanden, Jahrgang 1985. Auch viele Top-Ergebnisse unter den ersten 10. Zum Beispiel in Millau in Frankreich. Jetzt am 5. April erreicht er den 3. Rang.
Sean trying to figure out exactly what he's going to do with his left hand there. Fortunately coming down. I think he's got the right tactic there though, about pushing into the middle, not relying so much on that starting hold like we saw Dimitri leaning off that and trying to push up for the bonus. That's a huge stretch there. Dimitri trying not to use the slab. But there's Rustam as well with this awkward start on the roof section on B2. So using the roof, you can either start facing the audience or facing the wall, but then there's this section. And this next move from here, taking your feet off, is another one of the really tricky maneuvers. You can see Rustam coming down there as well. It's how you get up onto the higher section of the wall. You've got this suspension in the middle here. Hard to take your feet off the volume at the start, and then it's all about power from the midsection towards the end, which Rustam definitely has. And the last move on this one as well is another kind of balancy, tricky move. Rustam managing it this time. He should be okay from here as long as he makes this final move. In a moment from this point, you can see there that sloper. It's a little bit tricky now to get over that. Right at the top of this extension, but no problem for him. Rustam Galmanov then with another top. For Russia there, Sean McCall has got into the middle of the wall and just slips. There you can see exactly what I was talking about a few moments ago. Those two footholds in the middle of the wall, the pink and the black. They're not good at all. Got into the middle of the wall, which is definitely the right way to get up to the bonus hold, the tiny little peanut hold. You can see the bit of white tape further up there. As Percy was saying to me this morning, this is all about that sort of power slide at the end. It's not rushing it. It's not a jump even either. It's that kind of slide over to the left-hand side with a bit of a push-up. And allowing yourself to trust your feet to keep you on that slab. Sean's got exactly the right tactics, but then the other thing about Sean is that he's one of the smaller climbers. Relying on that left foot now, he's going to start to pull himself into the middle, get the other foot up. And you can see using the slab, this is definitely the way to do it. So Dimitri getting stuck on that a moment ago. Now, how is the foothold going to go this time? Very nice. He did have to jump at the very end there, but trusted the foothold long enough to allow him enough to pop up from. Another top then for Sean McCall. And he's got 40 seconds, so he might as well sit down and just chill out in front of the wall. Looks like he doesn't want to go back into isolation. If you are just joining us, good morning to you. We're here live from Kitzbuhel in Austria for the third IFSC Bouldering World Cup of 2013. I'm Daniel Finn. Any questions you might have, do send them in to us on the Twitter feed. You can get there using the hashtag IFSC in capitals and then lowercase WC. All one word, IFSC WC. Any questions, any opinions, do send them in. Two new athletes then, Lucas Enemosa and Hori Sukuru for Japan. come out onto the wall, have their 5 minutes of trying these problems.
Und Tsukuru Hori an der Wand 1A und 1B und an der Wand auf dem Boulder 2A die Startnummer 3.
So Lucas on the left
Tsukuri
and Hori Tsukuru
aus Japan.
on the right-hand side. And now we're starting to really fill up these walls. We have athletes on problems 1 through 3.
Wurde in China bei dem Design-Weltcup Dritter.
I'll show you those in a few moments' time. The third problems in these qualifications, for me, look like the most fun. I don't know whether they're going to be the hardest. We'll talk you through those in a few moments' time. So Lucas then on the pinch there, striking out to the right. How's he going to get on with this slopey hold at the top here? The red, he's got to be quick to pop up to the top. Not rely on the red too much. No problem then for these athletes. Either of them, very, very quick tops for both of those athletes there. And here we are over on one of our other sections of the wall. Guillaume there just starting up on problem 2 for the A group. Jakob Schubert already up onto the midsection of this wall, past the roof. A top for Dimitri Sharafudinov on A3. And Kilian on B3 then. This compression problem. You'll see him just starting off there with that undercut. Over on the far right as Jakob tops out on B2. So here's Kilian then, this sort of compression moving up, using the slopers on the left and using the volumes on the right before this penultimate hold. Now he's going to have to match on that bonus hold there, and he went up then with the left hand, but it's intended that you go with the right first as you go up towards that bonus. So using the slopers on the left-hand side, using the volumes on the right-hand side. This one is interestingly called monkey upper stick, which is what Percy's called B3. Don't ask me why. But monkey upper stick, B3. So you start with that compression. And then when you get to the bonus hold, it's over with the right hand reaching across and then matching with the left, doing a bit of fiddly maneuvers there before you then strike out for the top hold, which is just next to it. Interesting as well to see the bonus hold as the penultimate hold on a problem. So Kilian, our only athlete left then. If you are new to the sport, the reason the athletes do take some time on the mat sometimes, thinking through what they're doing, is because the way that they score points is by making the most amount of tops on these problems, using the least amount of attempts. Using a heel hook there with the left, and then switching it over to the right. There's the right hand up first. Leaning out with the left. 2 hands now on that penultimate hold. And now he can cross over onto the top. That's exactly what he should have done the first time. So a top for Kilian. Good work, nice and easy. So yes, if you are new to the sport, it is the most amount of tops in the least amount of attempts. So ideally, what all of these athletes are looking for are to do it in one. Now remember as well, these athletes haven't seen any of these problems beforehand. It is against the rules. They're kept in isolation, downstairs or away from the wall. They're not allowed a glimpse. And then they come out and they get 5 minutes per each problem to try and top out on those. So the next time you're down at your local gym, and you're having a go at one of the walls, try setting yourself a time limit. And do it with 5 problems in a row and see how you're feeling at the end of it. 25 minutes of solid climbing. Maybe even score it with a friend. See which one of you would make it through to the semi-finals if it were an IFSC Cup. And then if you're really, really good at it, why not try and apply? So, a few seconds then before our next rotation. two new athletes then out on problem 1 at the moment, 2 French athletes, and that is Jeremy Bonda and Tito Calero. As someone was saying in the chat room a few moments ago, Senior French Cup at Meur de Lyon was last weekend, and Tito won that one. We've seen Jeremy Bonda make finals as well. He's on the left-hand side. We've seen Tito make finals this year as well. Tito made the finals in Chongqing. The only athlete other than Dmitry Sharafutinov to make that transition on the final problem in the finals as well. Only 2 athletes made the final. Extremely determined climber. Sean McCall has just topped on A3. We'll have a look at A3 in a moment as well. I haven't talked you through that one yet, so we'll have a look at it in on our next rotation. Here's Jorg. Looking quite comfortable again here. So here's a quad screen for you so we can see as much of the wall as possible. Atop then in the top left-hand corner of your screen for Jorg Verhoeven of the Netherlands. In your bottom left-hand side of the screen you have Rustam Gelmanov on B3, the one that we just saw Kilian topping out on after a couple of attempts. It is possible to get a hand jam in here. You can see just that little gap to his right. He's just put his left hand in the gap there. It looks like he's going for a hand jam with the right hand in between that gap. It's not intentional. It is a bit of a style thing for Percy Bishton, but actually this route was set by one of the Austrian route setters. There's Jonas Baumann in the top left now for you then. He's going to be shifting over into the middle of the wall, see how he gets on with this slab. Tito still on the ground. Ashley Scott, in response to my challenge when you guys are down at the gym next time, saying, well, they don't do 5 problems straight. They have a 5-minute gap between each problem. Yes, okay. I'll let you off on that one then, Ashley. You can double the amount of time you're allowed. 50 minutes, 5 problems next time you're at the gym. And time yourselves for 5 minutes each problem. You see just how hard it is to do this. And remember as well that these 5 problems that these athletes are climbing today only get harder tomorrow when they go through into the semis, if they make it through. And then they also have to climb the finals as well tomorrow. So you're talking about doing this 3 times over in 2 days. It's definitely a thing about endurance as much as it is skill and strength. There's the top for Tito.
Thomas Calero. Mit seinem zweiten Versuch.
A little bit of a shaking Jonas here. He's got to push up from this position. Really, you could see his foot started to turn out then, and it was just enough to bring his waist away from the wall. And that's always the problem with the slabs. It's the tricky part about putting this awful starting mantle position, volume, blob thing at the bottom of the wall, and having to rely on that with your feet as you push up. With still 20 seconds left on the clock, Jonas has called it a day there on A2.
Wechsel in dieser Qualifikationsrunde Herren IFSC Bouldering Cup.
So, guys, if you are watching, we're now in our quad screen. And just to confuse you, because we can, no, I'm joking. The bottom right hand is your problem 1 for both of our groups. So the bottom right hand corner of your quad screen is A1 and B1. And this is because it's over on a different wall to the main section that we're looking at here. So then the top left is A2 and B2. And the top right is A3 and B3. You can see Guillaume and Jakob in the top right-hand corner of your screen. That's the third problem. And then the bottom left is the fourth problem on this one for us now, which has Dimitri just starting off on it, and also Kilian Pishuba. But I said that I was going to stay with A3 for this one and talk you through this sort of problem that we're looking at here. So this is a basic power boulder. It's a big bicep workout. Big undercut. You can see the bonus there that Guillaume is about to be reaching up for with the left, and he's got a match on this undercut as well, and it's not a great one to hold on to. So transfer of the feet, he's going to get the right hand up underneath there, try and levy himself up towards that ammonite, which you can see at the top there, the seashell sort of shaped final hold. One hand on and just slipping off, unfortunately for him. Now on this one, if you do spot it, there is the ability to do a bridge out onto the left hand side there. You can see the black tape is on the edge of problem 2, which is just next to it, but there is the chance of using that outside wall as well. If it isn't taped, you can use it, and it's not in this case. So a potential lean out there with the foot, if it helps, towards pushing towards the top. But it's going to be an interesting one to see which athletes spot that and which athletes try and go straight up. So in the bottom left-hand side of your screen, you can see Kilian Pishuba with a big stick cleaning the wall. That's B4 down there. B4 is called Dr. Pinch. I love that Percy names some of his boulders. This is a balanced start. And you can see, well, you can't quite see, just above where Kilian is looking right now on that problem there. There's a double Gaston in the middle of the wall. So he's going to have to get up to that one. And then it's a bit tricky from there. It's almost a reverse back down to try and get an undercut, which is just over to the right-hand side. Kilian's just walking through it now with his mime tactics as Guillaume manages to get to the top. So a top for him there. So here we see, there's the double Gaston. He's going to get the other foot up now. Seems to be ignoring that undercut that's back to the right-hand side and going straight up onto the big banana-shaped hold. Vaguely banana-shaped, I guess. So he's had the bonus now, Kilian. The final few moves on B4, relatively straightforward, but they're still hard. It's just a basic left and then right as quickly as you can on that one. Lucas Enemus with a hand on the final hold on A2 as well, in the top left-hand side of your screen. See the frustration as he just slipped off. That's those footholds again.
She don't wanna go outside tonight. Is in a pipe to fly to the motherland. Settle up to another man.
Kilian going for another attempt here, then down bottom. On the bottom left-hand side of your screen. It's a little bit awkward in that Gaston position. He's completely ignoring that right. He did go to try it then a moment ago, but didn't feel comfortable with it. He's come back across. There's only so much you can do with that, though, I suppose. It's quite far away from that, from matching the pinch on the yellow. And it looks like Kilian's calling it a day there. Yes, he is. We'll get ready for this next rotation. So no top for Kilian on B4. two new athletes out there. There's Cedric Lechat on the left-hand side of your bottom right corner of your screen. And next to him is Ned the Baker Fihali from the GB team. Sean McCall now on A4 here. And the bottom left-hand side of your screen. Now A4 is called the Big Bubble. No prizes for guessing why. That giant yellow thing in the middle there. And Percy has called this the mauling problem, the one that maims you, because of how tricky it is. So there you can see Sean moving around that bubble, using a bit of compression, swinging his feet around now. Now this next few moves are quite difficult. There's a tiny ledge, and he's managed to get it on the first try there with the left hand. There's also a tiny little, and that's what stumped him. Now if we're looking at a 4 then, with Sean on it here. You can see the blue hold there, which is the bonus hold, has a tiny little ledge in the middle of it, which didn't seem to be too much of a problem for Sean to get a hand into with the left. But then on the right-hand side, there are two green plates mashed together with a tiny ledge in the middle of them. Percy's put that on there to stop it being an easy slap up with the right hand to secure that one. You have to be really accurate to get your fingers in with the right hand on that one before jumping up to the top. And the top's no problem, but getting that transfer from the bonus and up onto the green, once you've got round the bubble, is going to be where we see some of the problems coming in on that one. It seems that Rustam's hit a stride now, though.
Am Boulder 4A aus Kanada, 10 mit Gold. Der Boulder 2A, Jeremy Bonder aus Frankreich. Am Boulder 1 beide Athleten. Lachal Cedric, fertig. Auch Harry Ebert aus der dritten.
So Jonas Baumann then has found that lean out. He's using a bit of a lean there to get himself up to the top right-hand corner of your screen. And a top for him. Sean McCall still on the ground though on A4. Jeremy Bonder on the slab on A2 on the top left-hand side of your screen. Sean going for another attempt here. 1 minute 18 left on the clock. So up with the left for Sean. Swinging out here, he's going to get a heel hook round, and that's going to allow him a little bit more time to secure the next hold, and that's got him to the top. So that's the way to do it then, Sean. Very nicely done, using a heel hook instead of just popping up with the right, relying on doing it quickly. He's bought himself a bit of time so he can get the accuracy right before moving up to the top there. So just Jeremy Bonder then, over on A2 at present. On the slab with 40 seconds left on the clock.
Und in 20 Sekunden, in wenigen Augenblicken geht dieser Intervall zu Ende. Wir befinden uns in der Qualifikation Herren. Es ist nun nach 40 Minuten bereits Dauer Qualifikation Weltcup IFSC.
Very nicely done.
Und Applaus. Und der Wechsel. begrüßen zwei neue Wettkämpfer an der Rand 1a und 1b mit der Startnummer 9. Mauricio Huerta aus Mexiko mit der Startnummer 59. Clemen Bacon.
Okay, so we're going over onto A5 and B5, and as we're in quad screen, for a moment we're not going to be looking at problem 1, we're going to be looking at problems 2 through to 5. And now it is in order, so top left-hand side of your screen are problem A2 and B2, top right is B2 and B3, bottom left is A4 and B4, and bottom right is B5 and A5. You can see Kilian Verschuber starting off. One of the sponsors, Rayfeisten, their holds there at the bottom, he's just using his foot holds. Very bizarre. And then we can see Dmitry Sharafutinov on what Percy has called Chappie Chapeau Part 2. There's another little hat on there, but doesn't seem to be causing too much of a problem for him at all here. The interesting one here is going to be B5, because as you can see Kilian's using a lean out here, walking his way up the wall. Didn't seem to have much of a problem there at all, but he's one of the taller athletes. But there is nothing in terms of a hold over there around the brown volume and towards the top of the final manoeuvre on B5.
Auf der großen Videoleinwand können die verschiedenen Teilnehmer mit ihren Startnummern Referent besichtigen und ebenfalls gerade am Top auf B4 Jakob Schubert, Österreich. Fünf Minuten die Zeit pro Problem und on top auch auf der Route
So all our athletes down off the wall at the present. 2 minutes still left on the clock.
Mauricio Huerta.
So while all of our athletes are waiting around, we have 2 minutes left on here. Another brief chat then about the IFSC's donation campaign. So the IFSC are calling upon the worldwide climbing community to rally around its 2020 Olympic bid. If you didn't know about that, where have you been for 7 or 8 months? The IFSC and sport climbing has been shortlisted for the 2020 Olympic Games, and we're trying to get there. There's a donation campaign. To join us on Facebook, contribute to the donation campaign and earn your chance to win one of the 54 prizes. You can get there by using facebook.com/sportclimbing2020. facebook.com/sportclimbing2020. Sport climbing has now climbed into the semi-finals. It will count on the dynamic climbing community to reach the finals. Dedication and the enthusiasm of the bidding sports worldwide community is a key part of the decision-making process, providing a tangible way to assess the popularity of the sport. So it is vital that we have as much support as we possibly can to try and push for this. And it's a way to involve the climbing community in backing the sport. So the campaign, primarily run through the 2020 Facebook page, seeks to increase the number of fans to the 2020 Facebook page and then to raise money. The goal is to raise the symbolic amount of €20,200. And the money is to be used to rapidly improve the quality of the events, the broadcasting and the communication around the world. That is a quote by Anne Fuyner, who's the IFSC Director of Marketing and Communications. Now, why contribute? Now, I know you're all lovers of climbing, but why do it? Well, you get this chance to win one of the 54 prizes that are up on grabs. 10K less flash quick draws, which is 16 centimeters. In amongst them, climbing shorts, inside ropes, beanies, t-shirts, So do get involved and help support the IFSC as we push towards our 2020 Olympic bid.
An Boulder.
And now we're back with our athletes, back on the wall.
Ganz rechts außen.
So Cedric Duchet and
Auf
Edward
B2
Fihali.
Jean McColl.
Problems
Auf
2.
B5
Two
Rustam
French athletes,
Germanov.
Tito and Jeremy on problems 3.
Daneben
Jonas Baumann and Jörg Verhoeven on
An
4,
Boulder
and
A4,
Rustin Gelman and
Jonas
Sean
Baumann
McCall
aus
making their
Deutschland.
last climbs of the day before they
Und
had a
auf
little bit of a rest.
B4 Jörg Verhoeven aus den
Sean
Niederlanden.
moving very, very quick here up on Chappie Chapeau number 2.
An Boulder A3 Jeremy Bondet aus Frankreich. Und
And that was Rustam Gelmanov trying to just bypass that large brown boulder volume on the left-hand side and just go straight for the top there on the bottom right.
Applaus.
Sean seems to be taking a bit of time there. Seems to have got stuck a little bit.
An Boulder.
Atop then for Jonas Baumann.
A4
He's looking good today.
Jonas
Jörg
Baumann.
Verhoeven, one move away from the top.
Das Problem. Und dort weltet dann auch auf B4.
And a top then for him as well on the bottom left. And here's Ned. A top for Edward Fihali. So just Sean and Rustam currently left on the wall. Stephen Reed saying 8 different boulder problems, but every athlete doesn't climb all of them, just luck to get the one that matches one's style. Well, Stephen, in response to that, there are actually 10 problems here. So we have 5 for each of them. They are split into 2 groups, and the styles even out as we go across. So there might be a slab in the A group at number 3, but there's a slab in the B group at number 2. So they will all have something that's slab-like, something that's dynamic, something that's basically compression. When they're working in groups, the route setters do take into account the fact that they have to make it as fair as they possibly can for both of the 2 groups. So yes, there might be different problems, but in terms of style, they pretty much cover all, or as much as they possibly can. Rustam and Sean still on the floor here, 2 minutes left to go. Rustam is still trying to just go straight up from that yellow volume once he gets his feet up on there and just do a massive dyno up to the top of the wall there. He's not using the lean out at all. Style changes from this slope up problem. Here we go. Now he's going to try and use a different tactic here. This is where the style of this problem changes into this bridge problem that we have now. There are several ways to get up to the top. Saw Killian using a very effective one, very similar to what Rustam's about to try here. Well, actually not too similar. He's using only 1 foot to get up there. Top for Rustam Gelmanov then. Quite a few attempts of a bit of a strange beater. Sean at this same point again, this move up into the next red hold just above him. He's got a hand to it now with a minute left on. This should be it if he can get his feet up properly, maybe a foot up onto the hat as well. This final hold's quite tricky. But he manages to do it with 40 seconds roughly left on the clock here. Blockfest asking about the music. Is this Percy's record collection? No, unfortunately we won't put you through that. We had that all day yesterday while they were setting. Percy blaring out his tunes.
Neu dazugekommen sind jetzt auf der 1er Boulderwand auf der linken Seite James aus Australien, Jahrgang 1985, momentaner Stand in der Weltrangliste an der 32. Stelle, und auf der rechten Seite Meschazinski Viktor André aus Polen, Jahrgang 1984, in der Weltrangliste an 33. Stelle.
Greetings from the Blocko Gym in Poland. Hello back to you, nice to see you with us again. And Jose has just come out to problem 1. We'll be seeing him in a few moments' time when he moves over onto problem 2. Very, very quick top there for Jakob Schubert, no problem at all on B5 in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. Guillaume in the same position where Sean hung out for a while a little bit earlier today. Top already for Jan Hoyer on A3. Kevin Betchen is a move away from topping on 2 as well. Good transfer and he makes it. So yeah, remember the top 10 from each group go through. So the only real drawback of the grouping is that if you're 11th, whereas you would have been 11th if they were all bunched together, you would have made it through as one of the 20. Well, here it's only 10 from each group that managed to get through into making that 20, because there are 2 groups. But then at the same time, you could argue that all the athletes that would have been in the other group would have been in your group, and you would have been 21st, essentially. But yes, 10 from A and 10 from B for the men's make up our 20 for the semi-finals tomorrow. And then that 20 gets whittled down to 6. And those 6 go through to the final with a chance of trying to take one of the medals. Here in Kitzbuhel, which is quite literally one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen in my life. I almost feel guilty standing in front of the camera because I'm blocking a view for anybody watching it back at home. So, Hori Sukuru still on B4 then. We saw Killian having issues with, and Mauricio Huerta over on A2, the slab. Nat Berry saying looking forward to coming to watch tomorrow. Nice to see you, Nat, for the semis and the finals. If you are around the area, or you can be around the area, make sure you come and join us tomorrow. We've got a huge hall here. And it's always a good atmosphere on finals day. They serve beer at the side, the crowd gets into a good mood, the music's going. It's like a discotheque with climbing. Nacho coming out onto B2. Inicio Sanchez Gonzalez next to Anthony Gulston of Finland on A2.
Zwei neue Athleten können wir begrüßen hier in der Mercedes-Benz Sportparkhalle am 1er Boulder auf der linken Seite aus Deutschland Thomas Dauborn. Momentaner Platz in der Rangliste an der 16. Stelle, Jahrgang
Let's see how Ned gets on then with his first attempt on B3.
Und
Starting
auf
here.
der rechten Seite ist aus den Niederlanden die
For Great Britain. Just to
momentaner
reach out, he's got a heel hook in with the left now.
23,
Get a
Jahrgang
hand off and then switch to the heel.
1989.
He's not going for it, he's going up with the left as well, which is not the intended way on that bonus. Let's see what he manages to do here. Just a little bit of a tricky finishing up move there for him. It's not quite the correct beater. And that might cost him some energy on a couple of tries here as he tries to look at a different method now. Jonas Baumann in a similar position to Sean McCall over on A5 then. Trying to sort out where he's putting his feet. A little bit shaky here. Bit of a better position now. How does he get up into this one hold? He's got a foot up into the hat. Very close, but not quite enough. Some frustration on his face there.
Und auf B2 am Top. Die beiden Athleten
Tito on B4.
der ersten Boulderwand sind schon fertig, sind schon zurück in die Ruhephase.
And Ed with another attempt now to the top right hand corner of the screen. Let's see whether he manages to, and he is. He's using the heel hook on the other side now. Up with the right first,
Zu klettern.
then the left. Ah, and unfortunately just slipping, but he's getting the right method of it now.
Großen Dank auch an den Mädchen und Burschen.
Chris
die
Seed then on the chat feed saying, the joys of having two monitors on the computer at work. I'm able to watch the IFSC Climbing World Cup and then do work as
Danke
well.
an euch.
Good call, well managed. I have two monitors as well. I get to look at you guys and watch the World Cup.
Am rechten Boulder B5 mit der Nummer 24.
Robert the Breton saying, go James, nice work on problem one.
Am Boulder B4 mit der Nummer 56.
Seeing James coming out in a few moments' time.
Calero.
That's James Kissay, one of our Aussie climbers. We've got two Australian climbers here today.
Und am Boulder A5 mit der Nummer 4. Jonas Baumann.
Another attempt there for Ned. There's the heel hook.
Und für diese letzte Minute sehen wir auch am Boulder B3 Edward
And that's where
Kitzbuhel.
he keeps sliding off. We saw Killian doing this one, but it was a reach over with the right, and the left was an undercut instead of placing it on
Und am
top of the
Boulder
hole
A2
on the
mit der
bonus.
Nummer 10.
That undercut allowed him to swing round and put the right hand up over onto the orange final hold. Trying to push up from that, probably with the start of A2 on the top left hand side. And then having some difficulties here as well.
Der nächste Wechsel.
James Kissay then.
Neu vierte Grüße.
For Australia comes out our first Australian athlete for today, over onto A2 now then.
Stefan Julien aus Frankreich und die Nummer 63 Martin Branik aus der Tschechei.
There'll be a lot of you watching in the chat room. There's a lot of sport coming in for Australia.
Martin Branik.
Apparently we're having 3 Australians in the next room as well. Christopher Parsons back. I don't know what's happening. You guys are multiplying, which is great. It's slightly unnerving. Hori Sakuru on B problem 5. So quite a while on B4 earlier. Let's see how he gets on. His final climb today.
Auf der Hauptwand, rechts außen.
And there's Andrzej as well for Poland from Blocko. Anybody watching? Hello to you there. Here he is now out on B problem 2. He's made the roof now, moving up onto the bonus hold there with the left hand. Let's see how he gets on with transferring up and around this green hole there. A little bit of a tricky point in the wall here now. He's got the height to do it, certainly. He's got to get a foot up somehow. It's looking good here. Andrzej still in this penultimate hold position. Went for it with the right there as well. Up and up again.
An der Hauptwand links außen. A2 James Kasai, also Flavian mit
James then on the slab here has done well on problem 1 so far. Let's see how he gets on with 2. Taking a moment to look at the wall.
Nelszynski Wiktor aus Polen.
Question then from Stephen Reed saying, when do the women start their qualifications? Well, they're due to start at 4 p.m. Central European time, local time for us here in Kitzbuhel. I'm not sure what time that will be where you are, Stephen. But at 4 o'clock, about a couple of hour break will be taken after we finish the men's qualifications for the route setters to be able to reset the walls for the women. Then we start with them a little bit later on today. Here goes James then with another attempt. That's Andrzej. Gets up into a similar position that he was in before, and he's going to try and cross over with the left here, or is he going to go up with the right again? He's going up with the right again, but he managed to get a foot on the bonus hold. It secured it a little bit better for him. Going to get one more hand up there. There it is, a top for Andrzej. And James is just starting off again now. Here. He's trying to do the method Dimitri did there. Instead of sitting into that position on top of that mantle start.
We're back from the north side of Dublin. We're calling you two. This is our first single. We hope you like it.
Ola Love saying finger crossed for you guys in Poland. Good luck and Duai. Sport Climbing Australia saying Jimmy K on problem 2, and Josh Muldoon saying good to see some Aussies there. Anybody watching the feed right now, if you want to come and join us in the Twitter chat room, you're more than welcome by using the hashtag IFSCWC. But a round of applause from the home crowd as Lucas Enamosa finishes his run of 5 problems with the top on A5 there. With less than 30 seconds left on the clock, he manages to get there. Thomas Taupo then comes out on the top left-hand side of your screen for Germany, our next German athlete. next to him for the Netherlands is
Ersten Einsatz in dieser Qualifikationsrunde für die nächsten 5 Minuten
The
Intervall.
other top hand side of your screen is Nacho.
1 mit der Nummer
Sanchez
14,
Gonzalez.
Arman
And Anthony Gostin
aus
on top
Russland.
right hand side. On the
Mit der
left,
Nummer
Cedric
64,
Schachnet, Harley.
Mario Lechner aus
And at
Österreich.
the bottom right, you've got Jeremy Bonda and Tito Kitzbuhel.
Mario Lechner, Mitglied der Nationalmannschaft der österreichischen Boulderklettermannschaft, ist auch ein
Yeah,
Tiroler,
very
kommt
quick
aus
start here.
Seefeld.
So here comes that double
Seefeld
Gaston.
wohnt in Ziel, Seefeld pendelt der Startliste, an der Rangliste Nummer
He's got a
40
match in the
momentan,
pinch in a
Jahrgang
moment as well.
1991.
Using that for a bit of leverage to stand up there. That's what that
Viele,
undercuts for on the
die,
right hand side.
tolle
We've seen a lot of athletes
Ergebnisse.
not using it at all, not bothering with it, just
Meistens
standing up
im
straight away anyway.
Vorstieg und im
He's coming back down again to match.
Und auf der linken Seite aus Russland Arman, der Nina San in der Weltrangliste an der 41. Stelle und ist Jahrgang
Using the red now as well.
1992.
Left up.
Und Arman ist bereits
Looking good,
der
Ned. One more
Einsatz
move.
top gewesen und auch
He's almost has his campus that
Mario
there.
Lechner.
Very, very quick. Nice top there for Ned.
Konzentrieren wir uns auf die Hauptmann.
On
Auch hier
B4.
bereits eine Knopf ganz
In very
rechts
good
außen.
form. Tito still on the ground trying to figure out how exactly he's going to attack B5 here.
56. Thomas Calaron mit der Nummer 6. Jeremy Bondet aus Frankreich.
We're going to go over to London. We're going to score ourselves
There's
the
Nicky
Red
then
Bull
pushing
deal.
up on B2.
I'm only
That's
getting
the
on
hold.
a good deal.
Auf B3 mit der Nummer 60 Ignacio Sanchez González aus
See the awkward
Spanien.
angle that it is from that shot there to get up to the top.
Und top für die Nummer 62.
Short work there for him, no
Nicky
problem.
Deleu aus den Niederlanden.
And Ignacio now on B3, figuring out the beta of how he's going to attack this one. So the in-between start then, top right hand corner of the screen right now. Hand around, heel hook in, shake the hands on a bit, just slipping off there as he went to transfer. Up to that next one.
500 pounds. I want to thank my old man for that 500 pounds. I want to thank Larry
Über eine Stunde nun, 11:07 Uhr. Qualifikationsrunde der Herren.
Muller.
IFSC Boulder Weltcup in Kitzbuhel presented by Raiffeisen.
For 500 pounds. And by now, you've probably all given us about 500 pounds each too, so thank you.
67 Herren am Start. Die Qualifikation der Damen wird am Nachmittag um 16 Uhr beginnen. Hier sind 53 Teilnehmerinnen gemeldet.
Now here's Tito. This bridge section of problem 5, B5.
An der Hauptwand rechts mit der Nummer 56 Thomas Calaron aus Frankreich und neben ihm mit der Nummer 6 Jeremy Bondet, ebenfalls aus Frankreich.
Just go straight up from there. There's the height advantage for you for someone like Tito.
Ja,
Just a quick pop up to the top. Did short work of the last section of that problem.
und auf Top war die Nummer 60.
Ignacio was very, very close there as
Ignacio
well.
Sanchez González. Er hat das Problem mit der Nummer B3 damit geschafft.
Jeremy Bonda, the only man left on the wall now. All of our other athletes are back down. Swinging there, he's going to need to get a foot up onto the blue there at some point. One of our volunteers cleaning the wall. If you are just joining us, welcome to the qualification day, the very start of our World Cup here in Kitzbuhel in Austria. We're here with the men's qualifications. For later on today, we go over to the women's at around 4 o'clock Central European time.
Und zwei neue Athleten dürfen wir auf der Boulderbühne begrüßen.
I don't think we're quite halfway through our men's qualifications yet though, so still plenty more climbers to come.
Mit der Startnummer 15, Blaser
We have
Benjamin
Jone Kruder and Jan Hoyer on A5 and B5 now for us. They're in the bottom right hand side of the screen. And you can see Mauricio Puerta and Clement Betchen on the bottom left hand side of your screen for Slovenia, Clement. And Mauricio for Mexico on the left. On the top right then, Andrzej Merczynski Victor of Poland. And I know a lot of you supporting from Blocko, the gym there, so a shout out to you guys. And James Kasey, I know a lot of you are supporting from the home gyms over in Sport Climbing Australia as well, so a shout out to you guys as well. And here is Martin Stranik and Stefan Julien on the top left hand side of the screen, starting off on the Cochrane 2 section.
Sportlich eine hochwertige Show zu sehen hier im ersten Weltcup.
Martin Stranik looking good here.
Eingeblendet auf der Hauptbahn.
2 moves away from the top. James looking good as well. He's got a match down on the side of the cut.
Wir beobachten.
There it is on the bonus.
Mit der Nummer
Nicely done, James. And he's using the lead out as well, spotted that straight away.
ist top gegangen.
No wasting time at all on the beater of that one. Nice work there for James Kasey up top there on A3.
Rechts von ihm
Martin
auf
Stranik.
A5 mit der Nummer 7. Jan Hoyer aus Deutschland und mit der Nummer 57. Jerne Kruder aus
Start
Slowenien.
using some of this compression here now. He needs to get a hand up. And then a leg up round to the right. There's the hand. Using a toe hook this time as opposed to a heel. Is he going to switch that one?
Den Boulder B3 mit der Nummer 61. Andrzej Merczynski Victor aus Polen.
He has something to say about that. Jan Hoyer up past the bonus on 5. Not to the top yet. And Jone Kruder. Jone's definitely got the strength to be able to bridge from this corner
Nummer 13 aus
and use the
Frankreich.
slope to his advantage. Jone's weakness is self-professed as being reading a beater. Difference between the body and the brain. I can tell you that some of the results as they stand at the moment. Jakob Schubert of Austria, 5 tops in 8 attempts for him. Below him is Tito Clerion of France with 5 tops in 12 attempts. Rustam Galmanov is in 3rd place as well with another 5 tops. That's one group. In another group, Jan-Gleron Monday has done 5 in 6 attempps. Sean McCall has done all 5 in 11 attempts. So we're seeing some of the normal patterns that we see, some of our usual athletes making it through. Are we going to see any surprises here? Are we going to see any of the ones that we're not used to seeing making it through suddenly pop up? Jone Kruder looking better here. Again, like we saw Tito a few minutes ago, using the height to his advantage. There it is. Jone Kruder atop for him on B5. Jan Hoyer then on A5. As they applaud Jone as he gets down. Is it going to be enough to drive him? Try and push harder to get up this one. 15 seconds left on the clock here, so there is a chance for Andrzej. And he makes it as well with 5 seconds left on the clock. Andrzej Merczynski Victor on B3, 5 seconds on the clock and manages to get a top there on V3.
Der nächste Wechsel. Die nächsten 5 Minuten.
Compliments then from Julie Zitter. Hello to you, love the new IFSC site, the video feed's good. Commentary is great, thank you very much. Is the results feed next on the list of improvements? Well, you can definitely, if you have a smartphone, you can get onto an app store and download the live feed results as well. There's an app on there that will allow you to feed directly from the judges' tablets here as they're pinning in the actual scores. You can get it up on your phone so you can see that there. Unfortunately, we're not managing that this year, but you can have a look yourself by getting onto an app store and downloading an app on there as well. If you type in IFSC results, I think it should come up on an app store, and you'll be able to get exactly the feed of exactly what everyone's done at the same time the judges are putting it in. So hopefully that sorts that out for you, Judith. Nice to have you with us. Anthony Gulston is looking like a top here then. Managed to get that accurate strike out with the right there on 8-4. Mario Lechner here on B2 on the top left hand side of your screen on the penultimate hold. Whether that's a height thing, I'm not sure, but he seems to be the most comfortable athlete to manage those final 3 moves there. Where his feet were just extremely comfortable, transferring his hands across and just topping out without too much of a problem. So a few athletes trying to reach for that top and coming down. Now here's another interesting thing. Armin Terminason, another Russian athlete. He's managed to get up on top of the slab, just slipping there on the final move. We've seen 2 Russian athletes struggling with slabs this morning. Rustam Gamrov and Dmitry Sharafutinov didn't like the slabs that we had here for them at all. Not so for Armin so far here. He's managed to get above the mantle and up onto the higher section of the wall. Just slipping on that final move, which we've seen plenty of athletes as we move through today. Kitzbuhel is on his last climb of the day. For anybody watching from GV, before Barons turns up in a moment. They're looking good here with the bridge. So a lot of the athletes using this method. And top there for Ned as well then. He's had a really, really good run here today. And hopefully should be enough to secure him in the semi-finals. Fingers crossed for him. We've seen quite a few tops from him in the past 10-15 minutes. Here's Armin then. Another slip there at the last. This is the point on the wall in the top left that you're looking at now with A2 that Percy was talking about to me earlier today, saying that that last move is more of a power glide than it is a dyno. If you try and pop up for it, there's not enough on that final hold to allow you to secure it after you've dynoed up to it. It's more of a sort of slow, easing lean with a tiny little jump at the end. So not only a tricky start on this one, but also a tricky finish on A2. Last minute. Now as our athletes make their final few attempts. Casey got his shoulder strapped up here as well. He's holding his hip. Not playing with his foot. He's obviously not very comfortable here. I wonder what's going on. Nicky Delou though. Commentators curse as soon as they say it.
Und die beiden nächsten neuen Kletterer können wir begrüßen auf der Einserkletterwand.
In come the housekeeping. In the last 10 seconds, getting ready for our next athletes to come out and join us. I think we're now approaching roughly the halfway mark, guys, in the qualifications. Hope you're enjoying today.
45. Platz momentan in der Weltrangliste. Und
Do
auf
let
der
us know
rechten
if you are by
Seite
getting in touch with us on the
Maran
hashtag
Saadi
IFSCWC
aus
Twitter feed.
38. der
Two new athletes then up on
Jahrgang
problems, two for us. There are 5 problems here, by the way, but obviously as we can't go quin screen, we can only really go quad screen. We want to show you as much as possible. We're currently sticking to 2, 3, 4 and 5. Showed you a bit of first problems earlier this morning, but now we're going to be seeing the athletes as they go through 2, 3, 4 and 5. But there are a total of 10 altogether here, 5 for each group, 5 for the A group and 5 for the B group. So Yabi Kim, Kim Yabi and Benjamin Blazer have already climbed one problem already today, and they now come out to problem 2 for us.
Beim Eingang beim Raiffeisenfeld gibt es Kaffee und Kuchen.
James Gazay then on A4. Had a good run so far, James. How is he going to get on here with the big bubble? A4 at the bottom left-hand side of your screen at the moment with Andrzej just next to him.
Und Trainerinnen des Kitzbuhel Alpenvereins soll ein bisschen Umsatz gemacht werden. Mikhailo aus der Ukraine
Okay, so starting with a heel hook here for James. It's a very physical move. He's going to have to get the right hand up onto there. Nicely done. Now to make this next move is one of the first hardest sections of A4. Securing his bonus hold and how he gets up to the next one. If he makes this quick, he's likely to miss with the right hand as he goes through that green gap. Whereas if he uses a heel hook, which is exactly what he's doing, he's got a lot more time to secure getting the hand in. James Gazay looking very strong here. Hopefully we'll see him through to the semi-finals. And it'd be great to see him in a final as well. He's reading the beta exactly right today. He looks comfortable, calm, collected, no stress there at all. Nice and easy on the wall. Fantastic start for Australia in this competition. There's the top for Benjamin Blazer of Switzerland with his funky shorts. Over in the top left-hand side of the screen. Clement in this position has been in for about the past 30 seconds. And in on the edge of this volume. Nicely done. I thought he was going to try and put that right foot up onto the spherical yellow. He just touched it with his foot, and that would have given him a bit more height to get to the top. Clement is a taller climber as well. Able to just do a little pop there.
Und A3 sehen wir Frankreich, Stefan Julien. Und auf B3 Martin Stranik aus der Tschechei. Und ebenfalls dort für Stefan Julien.
Finishes up here with almost 10 left on the clock, top. Yeah, and Andrzej still over on B4. This is all killing him for Schubert, struggling with this one earlier. He's got 2 hands onto the bonus here. Oh. I honestly thought he'd hurt himself then. That was quite a big cry. Very dramatic fall.
Die letzte Minute wurde angesagt. Die Nummer 61 für André.
The scoring system here is saying that Guillaume Day and Cedric Richat are currently right at the top of the board with 5 tops and 6 attempts for both of those athletes. Considering Guillaume has had a fantastic run in Lyon just recently, he's looking in good form. It's going to be looking good for him as he moves through the competition as well.
Zwei neue Athleten können wir begrüßen hier in der Qualifikation beim ersten Weltcup in Kitzbuhel in der Mercedes-Benz Sportparkhalle. Auf der linken Seite mit der Startnummer 18 Jan Heiko aus Wien, Jahrgang 1988. Momentan 77.
Okay, Yuri Nowitzki and Stefan Danker on the top left-hand side of your screen. Arman now moves across onto the top right with Mario Lechner. Thomas Taupo and Nicky DeLu in the bottom left, and Anthony Golston and Ignacio Sanchez Gonzalez in your bottom right. Kerry Cooper asks in the chat room, is there anywhere where we can see the results of men's Group B? Yes, there is. Do you have a smartphone, is the question I have. If you have, you can get yourself into an app store and download the IFSC's brand new app, which allows you to look at the live results as they come in from this event. It's a new thing that's been designed. You can get it onto your phone or tablet, and as the judges are pinning in on their tablets at the bottom of the wall, it's getting fed straight out to that feed, and you're able to have a look at it on there as well for the live results. Unfortunately, we're not managing results this year. Stefan Danker then atop for him. Anthony Golston one hand away as well from the top there. It all seems to be happening at once. Nicky DeLu as well. Yuri Nowitzki with the top. That was 4 in about 3 seconds. We're left with Mario Lechner. And Arman Tevenason is still on the floor. He's just cleaning the route there for him. Ignacio is still here as well. And Thomas Taupo medalled in Log Dragomir, which is our next competition. He medalled there last year. He came 3rd, took the bronze. There's a top for Mario Lechner as well. Claire Udale saying 4 out of 5 tops for Ned Fihali at the IFSC World Cup in Kitzbuhel. Come on, GB boys. And Sport Climbing Australia saying, boom, James does problem 4 at the IFSC World Cup. Go, you good thing. I'm trying to imagine that being said in an Australian accent.
Abgeschlossen. Auf der Wand A3 aus Russland Arman Terminasian. Und auf der Hauptwand rechts außen B5 mit der Nummer 60 Ignacio Sanchez Gonzalez.
So just Ignacio and Arman at the moment. 1 minute 50 left on the clock. Arman goes for another attempt here. This is all about power, this one. Let's see whether he manages to spot that lean out. We've seen a few other athletes using.
Amanda Minasan aus Russland bei einem erneuten Versuch. Leider abgebrochen.
Am Boulder B1 auch noch Sin Fai Ho aus Hongkong. Noch eine Minute. Dann ist 11:30 Uhr, 1,5 Stunden Qualifikation. Seit 10 Uhr wird hier geklettert. Qualifikation Herren, die besten 20 werden sich qualifizieren für das morgige Semifinale. Herren, welches um 12:30 Uhr kurz nach Mittag beginnen wird.
20 seconds left, and it looks like Ignacio's going to go for one last attempt at this one. He's going to have to be really quick. He's got 8 seconds here. He's got very quickly up into that top section of the wall. Just not enough time. He was trying to pull a Puccio there at the very end. So final climb for Anderje and James today. They're both on A5. One's on A5, one's on B5. That'll be in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. Martin Stranik, Stefan Julian on problems 4, Kim Yabi, Benjamin Blazer on 3, and David Barons emerges for Great Britain with Mikhailo Shalazhin of the Ukraine.
Weltranglistenplatz momentan an der 63. Stelle und Niklas Fassi aus Belgien, Jahrgang 1983 und ist momentan 69. geführt in der Weltrangliste.
Martin Stranik of the Czech Republic starting off on B4 here now then. 34th in the world rankings. It's been as high as 31 before. His best results so far today are all on the youth circuits, the male youth A and the male juniors in lead climbing more than they are bouldering. He was at the World Championships in Arco in 2011, came 7th there. And in bouldering, his best result so far to date is Vienna 2011, where he was 7th as well. You can see him in the bottom left-hand side of your screen with CZE on his back. Having a look at B4, which hasn't seen many tops. Jumping back across to James though. What a fantastic run here for him. He's got to be pretty happy with that one. Font has obviously done him good. He's been over here climbing constantly with Amy and Claire. Fontainebleau, and they've just come down here to Kitzbuhel. What a fantastic start to the competition for James Casey of Australia. Kim Yabi then over on B3 now. Up with the right first. Matching
auf A1.
Mikhailo Shalazhin just starting to push up from where it was onto the slab section.
Schon abgeschlossen.
Barons is finished.
In der Route.
You can see him sitting back there at the front of the wall with his headphones on.
Hermann Kevin aus der Schweiz.
Remember guys as well to send in anything you might be thinking, any feedback, any questions you might have, any shout outs for any of your athletes into the IFSC Twitter feed, which is #IFSCWC, and also remember to get onto Facebook, facebook.com/sportclimbing2020, and get involved in the donation campaign that we're putting out at the moment with the IFSC. We want to raise £20,200, there we go, got there in the end, so that it says 2020 as we're bidding for the Olympics. That money goes towards helping to improve the sport, and you can win one of 54 prizes. Anderje tops out on problem 5. James has topped out on A5 long ago, so fantastic there.
Letzten Sekunden für Mikhailo Shalazhin auf der Cruiser 2. Und on top Martin Stranik. Aber er hat es geschafft.
Unfortunately, not time there for Michelo
Und zwei weitere neue
to make another attempt to get ready for our new turnaround. More new athletes pouring out now.
Zu einem mit der Startnummer 70.
Hosting fight
Walran
for
Sebastian
Hong Kong
aus Frankreich.
on B2 at the present.
Jahrgang
And Jan Heiko of Austria there. They're on the top left-hand side of your screen. Our two new athletes today to come out and join us. Any support for hosting fight, do shout out to us. We'd like to know where our audience is coming from. Stefan Danke then and Yuri Novitsky are over on the top right-hand side of your screen. Armin Terminason and Mario Lechner on the bottom left, and Thomas Tarpon and Nicky Delou move on to making their last climb today. 4 minutes 20 left on the clock. Nicky quickly onto the wall now. As is Stefan Danke just above him. Both down at the exact same time. Strange, looks like they're sort of synced periodically then.
92 auf der 1B und auf der 1A Jodolonski.
Thomas Tarpon campusing of A5 and wasn't doing too badly at all then until he got up onto the red hold. Hosting fight quick to make a start as well over on B2. Comfortable. 2 moves away from the end.
Jan Heiko aus Österreich. Neben ihm auf B2 Sin Fai Ho aus Hongkong mit der Nummer 68. Ebenfalls auf der linken Hälfte der Haupt.
Mario Lechner needs to match now on this yellow hold, bonus hold on B4. Trying to decide whether that left foot up onto the black plate would be a good idea. It's a relatively good idea. I'd go for it, Mario. Still deciding. No, he's had enough. That was interesting. He's even smiling himself there as he got down. Nicky Delou with this leaning out bridge problem. He's got a bit more height now. He's got a hand on it. There's one. You've got to put two on there first, Nicky. There we go. A top for him.
Und am Boulder 5. A5 mit der Nummer 12. Thomas Tauborn aus Deutschland. Und der Nicky Deleu aus der Holländer Nummer 62 hat den Boulder B5 bereits fertig geklettert. Zwei Österreicher derzeit an der Wand. Links auf A2 Jan Heiko und der Mario Lechner auf B4.
Mario using the arete here now. This is good. We'll move away from the top. Another hand up, Mario. That's yours. There it is. A top for Lechner. Novitsky as well, just topping out here on the top right-hand side of the screen. Attempt then for him on problem 2 here. A2. Good getting up to the slab so far. He's got the tiny little bonus hold now. Trying to move his feet a little bit higher. And then he's got to start trusting with the right foot as he makes this final. Not quite enough. quick and rushing that moment. He must have started hearing the countdown there, and it cost it him. So while we wait for this turnaround now, let's have a brief look for you at the results as we have them as they're standing at the moment. Men's qualifications, Group A then, so equal first, Guillaume Glaronmondet and Cedric Richat. 5 tops in 6 for both of those. Sean McCall underneath them, Jan Hoyer, and Dmitry Sharafutdinov in equal 5th with Anthony Gulston, which is really interesting to see. 4 in 4 and 4 in 4. James Kitzbuhel there in 7th with 4 in 5. Thomas Tauporn in 8th. And here's the important 10th position, Jeremy Bonder, which means yet again Lucas Enemosa is just missing out on making it through to the semi-finals, which is what we're used to seeing from him. He made the finals just recently. Here's Group B then for you. In first then, Clement Vetchen at the moment. This is a crazy turnaround. 5 tops in 6, 5 bonuses in 5. Jakob Schubert in 2nd, Jone Kruder 3rd, Tito underneath him, Rustam in 5th, 5 tops in 14 attempts. Jorg Verhoeven, Kilian Verschuber in 7th, Ned Fihali in 8th, Nicky Delou in 9th. Let's see where that all-important 10th place is just briefly before we come back onto the wall. It's Mario Lechner at present, which means Andrzej Merczynski-Victor is unfortunately not at present making it through into the semi-finals. 10 from each group, remember, on this one, as we have 2 groups, 10 from A and 10 from B. Let's bring you back over onto the wall now. Those are the results as we have them as they stand at present.
Der Start Nummer 19. Ganz links, außen auf der Hauptwand.
And our new athletes back out now on the wall.
Mit der Nummer 69. Neben
Kevin Hemmond of Switzerland and Nicolas Farsi of Belgium on the top left-hand side of your screen. And David Barons of Great Britain and Mikhailo Shalagin on the top right.
Am Boulder A3 mit der Nummer 17. Mikhailo Shalagin aus der Ukraine und neben ihm mit der Nummer 67. David Barons aus Great Britain.
Kim Yabi looking a little bit shaky here.
Mit der Nummer 65, Jabe Kim aus Korea auf der Route.
Alex Waterhouse, go on Dave, coming in on the Twitter feed. So proud of James, amazing from Corinne Baumann. Kevin Hemmond, 2 moves away from the top on B2 now. Dave Barron still on the floor. Just looking at Hemmond's how to have it here as well. Well, here's Dave then for another attempt here. Seems to be getting too high with the left before he swings out for that right piggyback green hold on the circular orange volume on the right. Usually quite low down before you're getting your hand up onto that green hold on the right. Let's see how he gets on with it this time. That's going to keep swinging you off the wall, Dave. So he's going to need to get that heel hook up in between the gap there on the left-hand side. And while he's sitting down into that position, he's then able to strike up with the right. No top then for David Barons on B3. It's a bit of a beta problem more than anything for him. We get ready for our next two athletes to come out.
IFSC Weltcup, presented by Raiffeisen.
Another Polish athlete now. Jakub Jorlowski and Sebastian Valoran of France as well. Coming out to problem 2 here for us.
Auf A1 Shimizu mit der Startnummer 20, Shimizu Chui aus Japan, Jahrgang 1988 und auf 1B mit der Startnummer 72 ist Takata Tomoaki aus Japan. Zwei Landsmänner kämpfen gemeinsam und mit der Startnummer 22, der Shimitsua Atua, ist schon fertig, hat es geschafft. Als Österreich
schnell auf der Runde gewinnen und noch gegangen. Neben mit Nummer 14 Arman der Gymnasium aus Russland. Daneben auf P4 mit der Nummer 66 Stefan Dacker aus Deutschland. Und mit der Nummer 16 auf A4 Juri Nowitzki. Auf der linken Hälfte der Hauptbahn. Von links außen ganz weit beginnend Jakub Jorlowski aus Polen. Mit der Nummer 70 neben ihm auf Fliegsei Sebastian Valoran aus Valence. Sebastian Valoran aus auf der Runde A3 aus Österreich Jan Heiko. Und neben ihm B3 Nummer 68 Sintayo aus Hongkong.
Und zwei neue Athleten dürfen wir begrüßen auf A1 mit der Startnummer 23 aus Österreich, Martin Christian, Jahrgang 1991 und auf 1B Abduras Tripas aus Litauen, Jahrgang 1992.
Hauptrang von links beginnen mit A2 die Nummer 21 Jonas Winter aus Deutschland. Ein Boulder aus zweiten Boulder. B2 geht bei James Garden aus Great Britain mit der Nummer 71. Weiterschaft von Boulder A3 Nicola Farsi aus Belgien. Und auf B3 der Kevin Hemmung aus der Schweiz. Wenn wir auf die rechte Hauptbahn blicken, mit A4 Mikhailo Shaladin aus Ukraine, auf B4 mit der Nummer 67 David Barnes aus Great Britain, auf A5 mit der Nummer 15 gerade fertig geworden Benjamin Blaser aus der Schweiz und mit der Nummer 65 ganz rechts außen Route B5 der Jabe Kim aus Korea. Teilnehmerinnen und Teilnehmer aus 26 Nationen am Start für dieses IFSC Bouldering Cup in Kitzbuhel. Seit 10 Uhr die Qualifikation der Herren. Und heute Nachmittag um 6 Uhr beginnt dann die Qualifikation der Damen.
Driving home this evening, just when we had it all down. Headed for the river, way beyond the shadow town. Now I had it on the street, I had to let it find somebody new.
James Garden then, still on the ground. Making another attempt here on B2, whilst next to him Jonas Winter starts to push his way up. Let's hope that those shins stay intact as he makes this move again. Using the black one this time as opposed to the pink. And manages to make it. A fantastic finish there, nice and quick for Jonas Winter. And we'll go over onto James Garden, who's just starting off, facing the audience on this awkward little piece of roof section here. A top for Nicholas Farsi, over on A3. Dave Barons with another attempt on B4 now in the bottom left-hand side of your screen. A top then for James Garden rather, sorry, for Great Britain. On B2 there. A couple of attempts, but he got there. Kim Yabi still struggling over on B5. Hasn't had too great a run today at all. We welcome two new athletes, both from Japan, coming out over onto our second problems. One is Atsushi Shimizu, and the other one is Tomoaki Takata. So Shimizu and Takata on the top left-hand side of the screen. That's Shimizu there, you can see, with the funky haircut. Getting into the second section of our climbers now, over halfway. Shimizu already struggling on A2. Came 38th in Mion just recently. His first event of 2013. Next to him, Takata, who's just starting up on that roof section, 18 years old, from Totori. Little known on the IFSC circuit. But no problem at all here on B2 for him. Wouldn't it be great to see someone this late in the competition just coming out and just doing 5 in 5? Best we've seen so far is 5 in 6. That was from Cedric Lechat, from Guillaume Glaremondet, and also from Clement Betchen. But I always like it when you get the surprise turnout from an athlete right at the end of the competition. We saw it with a British athlete who hadn't climbed for quite a long time over in Vale last year. Was the last athlete to come out. Another attempt now for Stefan Danker then, of Germany. They've got on B5. (24 years old, from Nandlstadt. World ranked 22nd, but we've seen him as high as 16th at the end of 2012, last year. On the World Cup rankings, he was 16th. His best result so far to date on a senior circuit is 4th. Canmore in Canada in 2011. As he makes a top there in the bottom right hand side of the screen. Last time that he took a gold medal was in the male juniors lead competition. That was in the European Youth Series in Imst on Austrian soil in 2007. So both our Japanese athletes finished then on A2 and B2. In a few moments' time, we'll be seeing our first and only climber from India coming out. That'll be Sandeep Maiti. Had a chat to him briefly earlier today in isolation just before the athletes came out and started here. Said he was feeling good. He's been with Tito Calerion in France, climbing in Lyon just recently since we saw him in Mion. So last climb of the day for David Barons, and also for Mikhailo Shalazhin. Time for them to rest if they make it through into the semi-finals. Christian Feistmantel of Austria. You can see him with the purple shirt on there next to Kipras Baltrunas of Lithuania. Feistmantel on home turf. He lives in Absam. Highest result so far for him to date. And all of them are in the male juniors or the male youth A or B lead. That we do know that Austria does have a tendency to start their climbers very young indeed and train them up. But his best result so far to date was a 4th place, and that was at the male youth A lead at the IFSC Climbing World Youth Championships. That was in Sydney in 2008. We saw him on the juniors lead. This is all lead climbing as well. That's the other interesting thing about Christian. David Barons over on B5 was the winner and the reigning championship of the Climbing Works International Festival until this year, where he was pipped. That was one of the pre-events before starting the IFSC. Dave's 31 years old. The highest he's been on the world rankings so far is 30th. That was in 2011. His highest result so far to date. And it is finals. He has made it through into quite a few. But the highest result so far is a 3rd place at the IFSC Climbing World Championships in Qinghai in China in 2009. He's also had a 5th and a 6th place at Eindhoven in 2010, and then the 6th place in 2011. So made it through into the IFSC World Cup finals a couple of times as well. Nicholas Farsi just lost some skin off the tips of his fingers there, I think, as he went to go up for the bonus hold over on A4. Well, I hope you guys are enjoying the live feed. Not many left now to come out and have a go at this. We're into the last 10. Athletes coming out onto the wall. I hope you're enjoying the live feed, the free live feed from IFSC. And another reminder for you as well, just before we start off with our next set of athletes coming out here, about the Facebook Sports Climbing 2020 donation campaign. You can get onto that campaign by using the link that's on your screen, just appearing up there now, facebook.com/sportclimbing2020. And you can win one of 54 grand prizes. Find out all about them on the website listed below there, facebook.com/sportclimbing2020. Back to the wall then, into new action. Here's Sandeep Meiti coming out for India.
Auf A2 Oleg Beljakov aus Russland. Auf B2 neben ihm mit der Nummer 74 Sandeep Meiti aus Indien.
Hosin Fai making his last climb, next to Jan Heiko.
Sushi Shimutsu aus Japan und auf B3 Tomoaki Takata ebenfalls aus Japan.
Jan Heiko has not had the most comfortable run of results so far yet here. Only one top so far for him. Also only one top for Hosin Fai. So we already know that unfortunately we won't be seeing either of those athletes through into the semi-finals tomorrow.
Beide Athleten aus der 1, also 1A und 1B, haben abgeschlossen.
Sandeep had no problem on problem 1 a moment ago. Very quick top there for him. Here he goes on B2. Up to the bonus hold now. But it seems to be getting onto the green there that's causing some problems for him. Jakub Jodorowski, anyone still watching from Poland, give him a shout out. We had a lot of shout outs earlier for Andrzej. And James Garden. I can tell you that for Australia, just starting out as well. Tom Farrell has just come out onto A1, so he'll be out in the next couple of rotations. Apparently nicknamed the Butcher, which is interesting because Ned Fihali is nicknamed the Baker, which means we just need a candlestick maker, and we'll be ready for the Brothers Grimm to come to town.
Seit 2008 ist man in der Kirche Sportbahn eine große Veranstaltung, sogenannte Kitzbuhel.
Yeah, YouTube's back. Take a while to catch it. No, it's back, it's back. You can say, if anyone's moved over, YouTube's back.
Was it random or you do speak, was it just random or?
I think it's Adobe doesn't it's there in the background, but that's what's going to start manager. Right. Wasn't there. And started it again, and then it was, and I was having to postpone it and restart it. That's what I think. I don't know. So to be honest, it should have. I tried testing what capable of doing all this. Yeah. So might have been like, it's capable, not when I'm doing
Other stuff, yeah. It's too much, it's asking too much.
That's what it also.
aus Slowenien, Jahrgang 1989 und dann Startnummer 85 Tyler Elias aus Österreich, Jahrgang 1900 Wochenende beim Auswärtscup oder Auswärtscup in Wien am 20. April, 4. Abgeschlossen und auch die Abschnitt auf der Seite auf A2 Thomas Qualifications aus Italien und auf A2 Gustav Jürgen aus Österreich. Kritiker auf 4 und Jonas Patrick auf 4. Auf A3 Lopez Manios aus Spanien, Israel und Thomas aus der Schweiz. Jonas